Right.
The Eagles have a situation that many fans would say are not right. They still don't understand why the team would use a second-round pick on quarterback Jalen Hurts. They think it was wasted. They think that, there's some who would think, they have a plan now to supplant Carson Wentz. I mean, look, Carson Wentz is their guy. Carson Wentz is their franchise, but they understand that you have to have a good backup quarterback because Carson Wentz is a guy who gets injured from time to time. And Carson Wentz spoke to the media yesterday. These teams have been making players available through video conference, which is good because if there were offseason programs, players would periodically be available to the media during the offseason workouts. So I appreciate the fact that the teams are making these guys available. Carson Wentz had a lot of interesting things to say yesterday, and one of the things he spoke about was concussion symptoms. And I remember, Chris, 4 years ago when he was entering the NFL out of North Dakota State, and I had him on this show and asked him about his concern as it relates to concussions because he had multiple that he knew about playing at North Dakota State. You come to the NFL, your likelihood of getting concussions is going to go up because you're getting hit by bigger, stronger, faster individuals. He said yesterday of the concussion he suffered against the Seattle Seahawks in the postseason when he took that hit from Jadeveon Clowney, that hit that should have been flagged and should have been fined, but wasn't. He said it's scary stuff. It kind of changes a lot of things in your brain. You only get one of these brains. You got to protect it. It was tough to see the finish of that game. That was the end of our season. It was frustrating not to be out there, but that's exactly what happened when Clowney went in head first, when he took that shot at Carson Wentz and got him out of the game. And, they don't talk about that anymore. It's the bounty scandal, and it creates all sorts of issues and problems as the NFL tries to make the game safer and safer. But every time I see that hit, look, I don't know how much that was coached, Chris, but you got a free shot at the quarterback, and there are plenty of guys in the NFL who are going to take it, and that's what Clowney did. And he should have been fined. He should have been flagged. And the Eagles being as pragmatic and realistic as possible about this, you have to account for the chances it's going to happen. That's why you have Jalen Hurts, because you never know when something like that's going to happen, and you can't have a 40-some-year-old Josh McCown as your option in the postseason when you're trying to advance to the next level. I love Josh McCown, but you got to have something better as your backup plan in that situation.
Yeah, well, the way Carson Wentz plays, to your point with the Jadeveon Clowney thing, guys, their eyes light up when they play Carson Wentz. They know they're going to get a chance to, for lack of a better way to say it, give the guy the business a little bit. When you're a quarterback in the open field, man, defenders are going to do anything they can to just give you a little extra whatever. Put the head down, let me smash his head into the ground, kind of like what Jadeveon Clowney did. Carson Wentz plays a dangerous style of football. So the Eagles got to protect themselves. I understand that. They have Nate Sudfeld, certainly. This is not about a threat to Carson Wentz. It's not. But he does need to learn to adjust his style of play. He was better last year, no doubt. But it's got to continue to improve. Mike, I could show you, an old video I made at Bleacher Report after Carson Wentz got drafted. One of the things I emphasized, and you said this already, the thing that scared me, the number one scare I had of Carson Wentz was injury. It was a lot like, I'm not going to say it was as bad as Tua this year, but I was worried about it. You mentioned the concussions, the way he played in college football at North Dakota State. Man, he was lowering his shoulder and taking a lot of huge car collision type hits where I just went, wow, this guy he's not going to make it if he does this crap in the NFL. And we've seen it's taken a toll on him. Now, I understand Eagles fans being a little frustrated with the Jalen Hurts draft pick. Carson Wentz solidified himself last year as a guy on the verge of one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football. I don't think anybody's going to sit here and argue that he isn't somewhere between 6 and 10 with what he did and the team that he carried on his back the last 5, 6, 7 weeks of the year. No weapons around him, not a great run game, and he just made it happen. He's special that way. So this is not oh gosh, we drafted Jalen Hurts, you should feel threatened, Carson Wentz. No, this is an insurance policy for the Philadelphia Eagles, along with being able to use the skill set of Jalen Hurts to help out the weaponry of the offense of the Philadelphia Eagles.
And you just have to be ready for anything that can happen, especially when you have a quarterback with that physical style who at this point is not going to change. That's the reality. this many years into your football career, from high school to college to the NFL, you're not going to change your style. You have a greater risk of injury than, say, a pocket passer would, like a Tom Brady. And I spoke to Bills GM Brandon Beane about this last week when talking about their decision to use a 5th-round pick on Jake Fromm.
Right.
You've got a starter in Josh Allen who plays a physical style of football. You have to have a backup plan in place because you never know when you're going to have to use it. We mentioned Josh McCown. I think the mural at Dwayne Haskins' house, it looks more like Josh McCown than Tom Brady.
It's definitely, it's more of a Josh McCown chin for sure. Josh McCown has that chin you were talking about. It's like he does exercises for it. It's the greatest jaw I've ever seen. So I'm with you. But Mike, I will say this. I do think Carson Wentz played a safer brand of football last year. I do. I thought there was a number of games where I went, in years past, I think he tries to fight for a yard or two. Last year, he just went down and slid. It's not perfect, but I do think he has made an effort to, take that part of his game out, or at least he is trying to lessen it to a degree. And we saw that. I mean, he played healthy football all year last year. He got hurt at the worst possible time. But I do think he's making an effort, is all I'm saying. I don't know if he'll ever be perfect, to your point, but I think he is conscious of it, and he realizes that it's hurt his career. The fact that he hasn't been available has hurt his career to this point.
General Manager Howie Roseman called Carson Wentz before selecting Jalen Hurts with the 53rd overall pick in the draft. Roseman has described the conversation as, quote, not comfortable, end quote, because of the needs the team had at the other positions. That means Wentz said, kind of like what an owner in Green Bay, if there was one, would have said to Brian Gutekunst before selecting Jordan Love. Have you lost your mind? We have needs. We have guys who are going to be on the field that can help us win. Why are you drafting a quarterback who ideally won't be on the field? But the thing is, with Carson Wentz, you have to account for that possibility.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.